Hello. This is People Power with Priscilla. We are the people and we have the power. And this morning it's Thursday, 9 a.m. And I am expecting a guest. I'm trying to find out where they're at. But in the meantime, probably traffic because, school started today, and so there's a lot more traffic on the road than it normally is. Can you hear me? Okay. There's a lot more traffic than it usually is. I can't believe how quick that summer went by, right, Pastor? And next Tuesday is election day. Yes. I'm telling you, time is going by quicker than we want it to. It's like, can I just have a day or two to breathe? There's a lot of things going on in our community. Oh my goodness, Pastor Hobbs. So I went to the Center for Teen Empowerment opening last week. It was very nice. It's a beautiful building. And they actually have a room dedicated to my friend Lynn Jackson. She worked for youth family centers for about 40 years. She worked for the city of Boston. She worked in several community centers, including the one down Orchard Park. She worked in Galvin, Mildred Ave, a couple more. And so they had a room with her name, Lenny Jackson Office, so I took a picture with it. And she passed this past July. And it was a beautiful opening. The building's really nice. They have a tribute to Mel King as well, and some other of our shining stars that have went on to be with the Lord went home. I want to talk about a play on October 14th. It's going to be it's actually Haywood Fennell. Anybody that knows Haywood Fennell knows he does these plays. And then this one that he's doing on the 14th, it's going to be at the Strand Theater, October the 14th, 2023, at 4:30, and it's a nice fee. It's not really expensive. I know I can't tell it over, but it's gonna. And I think they say you can pay at the door. So it's not expensive, but they are honoring Makia in this play, and so I'm very excited, to see it. And her sister is part of it as well, her sister Karen, and so I'm very excited about it. Also, this week I had the pleasure of typing up a play for my friend Danny Harris. It's called The Fashion Show. And he even wrote a play, a part for me in it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it or not. But basically it's about the fashion world, and on fashion shows. And it's kind of like the setting is kind of like, is like in the dressing room, like backstage, and they're talking and they're catty and, So it's I think it's going to be fun. Yeah. Also, there's some things going on. The block is having a candidates forum on October the 11th at WORC, WORC, the building that's on the corner of Williams and Washington Street and Nubian Square, and it will be with the two finalists for the District 7 seat. And on the 25th, we will be having a at-large candidate forum, and that the place is to be determined. So hopefully by next week, I will have the exact place for that. But we're excited. This is Get Out the Vote weekend, so I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot of people door knocking, canvassing, talking to people about the issues. So much is going on in the city community, and it's just really getting to a point where it brings tears to your eyes. On Thursday, today's Thursday. Was it Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday. I went down to Nubian Square to do an interview with Tori from GBH, and she was down there to interview the people that started the security company down there, and she wanted to talk about Nubian Square, the foundation and the economic development. And as I pulled into the parking lot down there in Nubian Square, as I was pulling into the handicap spot, there was a black man sitting on the ground with a needle in his arm. And it just, I just was like, Lord, how do we stop this? It's getting it's getting as bad as Mass and Cass. It's not as many people. However, I just in a city that is so rich, in a state that is so rich of resources, of money, of buildings, that they can't do any better than what they're doing in Nubian Square and Mass and Cass. And so, because I grew up in that area, I'm very concerned in that area. I work in that area. And so, we really need to come together as community. And we need to, when we have these forums, we need to ask these people that are running for office, what changes are you going to attempt to make? What are you going to do about this situation? There's no they are building buildings like, they have a building going up on Harrison Ave. They have the Blair lot they're getting ready to develop. They're still developing Bartlett Yard. They're still developing Dot Block over in Dorchester. They're still developing on Washington Street in JP. Every part of the city something is being built. I'm on the commission for the BEC, the Boston Employment Commission, and they only have like maybe 5 to 7 monitors that monitor all these jobs. The majority of them are out of compliance, and it seems like nobody cares. I'm very frustrated and aggravated with the process. We need to change the process. We need to have community monitors in every district of the city. There's 9 districts, right? So why couldn't they put together 9 monitoring committee like we were doing in Roxbury? And we don't even do that anymore. We don't even monitor the projects in Roxbury anymore. So I don't know if that's not on City Councilor Tonda's agenda, but I know when Kim was there, when Chuck was there, when Tito was there, we had monitoring committees. That's how we were able to bring attention to what was going on on those job projects, because we were there watching. And so, community, there's so much that we can do as a community. We have power, we have leverage, and there's money, and we need to be going to our elected officials to make sure that we get our pie. There's billions of dollars that are coming through here, and why are we need to be putting together, like Grace Richardson says, we need to be putting together some projects, looking at some land, some plots, because it's our land, and it's already been stolen once from us, taken from us. So we're going to sit here and let them take it again? Come on, people, wake up. It's time. It's time. It's our time. There are a lot of things that are going on, and we just don't pay no attention, or we don't have time. I know we have families. I know we have children. I know we have jobs. But also, we have to open our eyes and see what is happening to us. We need elected officials that really care. I'm sorry. We got to have elected officials that care. What do you think, Pastor Hobbs?
Absolutely.
It's sad what goes on in our communities.
It is.
And there are people that are helping, but it just seems like the people that are really trying to help are not the people that get the resources. And that is a problem. Like, from what I understand, Pastor, That you already got money from the state for returning citizens, correct?
Not from the state, from the city, the Office of Returning Citizens.
Okay, so how is that working?
What do you mean?
I mean, how is the office up and running? How are they reaching? How is it? Are they reaching out to returning citizens? Like, what's the process? How do a returning citizen get involved with that office?
Well, they basically do an intake. So once, and we do intakes for them, as well as we're working with returning citizens who are coming out of respective places. So we'll do an intake with Healing Our Land, finding out what their needs are, long term and short term, and then do an intake with the Office of Returning Citizens, as that's the mayor's office that has resources as well. So between them and us, we'll partner to then be able to help people connect referrals to other entities. Like, for instance, people need housing. We were able to help a brother pay for his rent to be housed, which is a huge thing. He's a single father. We were able to help him, another gentleman with excise tax, to be able to get his license legit, so he can go back and forth to work. And then even with the brother who got the housing, now we got the housing, but he needs furniture. He's got a place, but it's empty.
Right,
so now we're trying to see if we can have the ORC or who else we can reach out to that can be able, even over the air, people that can help get it furnished. And then his license, he has to be get that righteous. So. And
there are programs, I think, that do have furniture.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's just a matter of tapping into them.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
So between the Office of Returning Citizens and ourselves, we will try to find out what resources are already in place, and and refer them to those. And we know, and there were quite a few agencies that received grants from the Office of Returning Citizens. A lot of faith-based entities, organizations that are run by returning citizens, and so we'll find out what they're doing as well, so that perhaps we can refer them to those programs contingent upon what resources that they offer. I mean, people need all kinds of things, from cell phone to food to clothing to jobs to mentoring, IDs.
Yeah,
yes.
It's a lot. I really like what Cheryl's doing. Stacy, I always call her Cheryl. I love the fact that she has that program for the women coming out, and we need more programs like that, and they're doing all this building, okay, all this stuff that's going up, but what's going up for the returning citizens? What's going up for the the young kids that are being aged out of DCF? I don't even understand how you would even have a system like that, where you literally take 18-year-old children and you say, okay, you're free. Go do what you can do. No money, probably no good education, probably no good social skills. Yep. I mean, how do we change all that?
I mean, policy, legislation. That's how we change. The people. We have the
people
power. That's how we do it.
It's a lot of work.
It is.
And it just seems like I don't know if they don't listen to us. Actually, I believe next week, Liz Miranda's going to be on my show.
Great.
I just got to double check.
Okay.
But because I want to see what line items and, what she has put in the budget, for our community, because basically that's what the legislators are supposed to do, They're supposed to make sure we get the resources that we need.
Absolutely. We had Senator James Eldridge on yesterday for Healing Our Land's broadcast, who we met at the Reentry Summit that Stacy was a part of and presented, and Daniel Williams from Prophetic Resistance organized. And so, we talked there about a collective co-created vision with Transformational Prison Project, a host of folks that we can be able to build this, as you said, returning citizens kind of village, whatever you want to call it, but a whole compound, a whole block,
right,
an oasis, right,
by the block.
And here's the thing. So Senator Eldridge told us on yesterday, one pieces of legislation that either have passed, like now they can make phone calls from being incarcerated free. And House of Corrections already doing it, because I'm already receiving calls from people at the House of Corrections. He talked about IDs. He talked about Sheriff Contusian, who's a sheriff, and how he worked with the state to be able to make sure people who are in prison will now come out, because they have an executive order making a contract with the Registry of Motor Vehicles. So, but that's folks who are in prison, not the House of Correction or jail. So that it's progress, but we still need to get it to that point that it also people coming out of house of correction or jail will also get an
Exactly,
ID.
they need the same thing.
Same
so
thing.
what? So why are they doing something different?
Well, he said basically because that was the state, and he said essentially that Sheriff Tompkins can do an executive order just like Sheriff Katujian did in his county with the registry of motor vehicles. So I'm going to encourage him to do that.
Definitely.
Because I just learned from yesterday that he actually can do that.
Wow.
So,
because it's funny how, returning citizens can get licenses, but then people who are not even citizens of this country can get licenses. So they advocate for that. So let's advocate for the returning citizens as well,
Absolutely. But the other thing Senator L just talked about, so we talked about, the felony reenfranchisement. He talked about various pieces of legislation that he has pushed to help returning citizens. But the biggest thing was this community reinvestment thing. And this is money that it's a September 15th deadline, so I definitely want to connect with you and some other folks about that, because it's an opportunity where their prisons are shutting down, like their women's Framingham, they're looking to shut that one down.
Yeah, but they're trying to build a $50 million new woman prison.
Well, I mean, there's a moratorium on that may be happening, but there's a big effort to have a moratorium on building more, because the truth of the matter is that the population is decreasing of incarceration. So the point is, so the institutions that have already shut down, like Walpole, and the one that they're anticipating shutting down, like Framingham, the resources that are allocated for those particular institutions
should be coming back to
reinvest them into the community.
Yes.
So that's what they're doing via grants.
Okay.
So this is an opportunity for those kind of compound or the village or things that we're talking about.
Collaborations.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's my hope, is that, and I asked him about collaboration, and he said he would talk to Andy Peck, the undersecretary, because really there should be an incentivizing coalitions and collaboration, as opposed to the way that it really kind of is by default, that's much more divisive and competitive, as opposed to incentivizing. We want coalitions, we want collaboration,
because everybody does different things,
right?
So you're doing something over here, somebody else is doing something different, somebody else is doing something different. Come together. It makes so much sense.
It makes perfect sense.
But I don't know.
But I think we have an opportunity.
We're getting
to do
there.
it. I think we really have an opportunity to do it and kind of set the tone to show folks the value. I mean, even the reentry summits were done because of a coalition. It was like 4 different organizations that came together, and it was Danielle Williams' vision to have 4 entities that are doing the same thing come together for the grant to do 2 summits and to do several resource fairs, and so it worked.
Right.
And so now we're building on that, talking about co-creating this thing that returning citizens will actually build and live, and be able to be economically sustained. And there's so many other resources that really, there's green money.
Yes, definitely. And I think I was talking to you about that.
Yes.
That is there's definitely some money that's coming down the pike, and we just need to be ready to be able to get it for real, because there's no reason why we can't. We're out here doing the work. We're out here helping our community as best as we know how with our own resources. I mean, the fact that Chris Womack has his own security company, down in Nubian Square.
He does?
Yeah, it's with he's part of the Nubian Square Economic Development.
Oh, really?
And the Nubian Square Foundation.
I didn't know that. That's great.
I'm telling you, they're down there, but I mean, the stuff is still happening. Police are down there, the nation is down there, but there needs to be some type of, well, I'm gonna tell you, I had a suggestion what I wanted to do. I wanted to take the prayer station down there, because I just feel like these people seem like they don't have no hope,
Sure.
But then you come and, I think we have to be able to give them more.
That's
and
right.
I think if we come together and work together and get the resources, because we're going to put the resources where they're supposed to be. We're going to help the community. We're going to help the people, and so the more that we can get, the more that we can help.
Absolutely.
And so, like I say, we the people, we have the power. And, school has started back up again, so that means that things will be different. Some parents work, some don't, but we really got to get our parents more involved as well. We really, really do. you know, we were talking about what we're going to be talking about on the doors when we knock doors. You know, the school committee is one of the top things besides the gentrification. But it really bothers me, and I know it bothers other people, that we voted for elected school committee, and almost 80% of people in Boston said we want elected school committee. But yet we had a mayor that felt like our vote didn't matter in that part, but it mattered when we elected her. And you know, I'm just like, really? Really? You know? And so we have to, I mean, what's this, 2023? So she has like 2 more, is it 2 more years? It's only been 2 years she's been here. It seems like it's been longer.
It does.
Doesn't it?
It does.
But I'm telling you, my bullhorn is in the car. And I'm telling you, I'm going to start using it because I just feel like, I know that there are people that want to do stuff. It's just how you reach out to them and connect to them. Like, we're revamping the block, so we had to bring in some new board members because we had board members and they weren't doing nothing.
Sure.
And so it's like, no, we can't keep having people on our boards that aren't supporting and aren't doing what they said that they were going to do and that they were voted in to do. So it wind up with just 3 of us left, you know. So, and then we had to keep one other person because of, I'll tell you that offline. But anyway, it's just, you know, but we did vote 2 more in, so you know we're building it, and these are people that are already interested, have already been a part. But you know, and some people are overwhelmed with things. I mean, look at us. You know, I'm like, I had one organization, BG, but I helped start a whole bunch of other organizations. But now I literally am working with like at least 8 different organizations, including my own 2, you know. And then, you know, because we have the block, we have the Nubian Square Foundation, we're all part of the same coalition where we're trying to build things together, you know.
Nice.
And so I believe, you know, that it's going to happen.
Absolutely.
And I know that we just have to keep trusting and believing in God, you know, because prayer changes things. Absolutely. You know, it really does. And I'm thankful, I'm grateful for my journey. I mean, I've had a journey, and I'm getting ready to write my 2nd book, The Real City Hall. I'm finally released to write it, and so I'm going to try to start it this year. I need to take like some time off. But I'm going to, in January, we're going to be starting our new cohort for Marcus Anthony Hall Educational.
Nice.
And but also Flint and Associates, we're a consulting company. We work and do a lot of different things. We help companies with grants. We help companies build their organizations. Nonprofits build their organizations. We help them we help them get resources, you know, give them information to help them grow. And there's some good organizations that are out there doing some good things.
Absolutely.
like Danny's program. I love his program, you know. I love Devon McNeil's program, you know. And these are the programs that need to have their own space, you know, their own building. If not their own, that why can't they? You know, when you're training 50 young folks, you know, why can't you have your own building? Or when you have 30 kids that are out riding bikes helping you distribute socks and food to the homeless and things like that. I mean, these young kids are doing something, you know. And a lot of these brothers that are doing this work are returning citizens, you know. And while they were in there, they learned from their mistakes and came out and said, I'm going to do this, I want to do that, you know. And they're doing it.
Absolutely.
And some of them are doing it on their own dime. That's you know, true. There's an issue with, and I'm gonna talk about it because it was brought to my attention. That Success Link program that they did this year with the city. Some of the kids didn't even get paid. Now, how you gonna make these kids work 5 and 6 weeks and you don't pay them?
Right.
You know, I mean, what is the problem? What's the breakdown? I thought they would streamline in the program by not letting the city do it, right? But they let these different nonprofits do it, and it just did. If you were a nonprofit and you got approved, most of the money went to the youth, or it went to the agency that was over you. So the company that was actually working with the youth didn't get any pay. And so some folks didn't have capacity. We literally had to turn down the grant.
Wow.
And I mean, we did not have the capacity, and they weren't going to give us any money for staffing. So, well, we can't do this. Really, 30 kids. So, but we did get some youth during the summer. So we did do some things. But they need to really, they really need to look at some of their processes, really, the way that they do things. Because if you know how young folks are, you promise them their money, they want their money.
Cool.
And I believe that Danny's program is so powerful that these kids continue to go to the program without even getting their money,
Yep.
And so, it's really discouraging when our agencies don't do what they're supposed to do,
That's
true. And so, people, I don't know who they think I am, or what power I have. The only power I have is the power of the Holy Ghost, but that's good power.
Absolutely.
But I do have people power too. But it's just, there's just so many different things that, we could just do better. We could just really do better.
That's true. That is true. So,
so I don't think my guest is coming. I don't know what happened. Hey, that's it's his loss.
Yeah. So the election is going to be Tuesday.
Yes, but and it's only for the district. It's not for at large. Yeah, the at large is November 7th.
Right.
So the at large, you actually get a little bit more time to get out and do, what they're doing. The banner, it says 3 councilors of color face challenges in preliminary race. That's Ricardo, Kendra, and Tanya Anderson. It says when voters in Roxbury and parts of the South End and Fenway go to the polls for the city's September 12th preliminary, there will be no shortage of choices in 4 city council districts. Okay, so I don't have the paper in front of me, so I don't know. It doesn't say continue nowhere.
Oh, I thought actually.
You have
the banner?
Yeah, today's?
Yes, just got it. I don't know. What page is on?
Thank you.
Actually, just got it.
Yeah, last week was that they were talking about how all the black people how all the faculty of color are being pushed out.
Of schools?
Yeah. They had a big rally about it.
Wow. So here on the front page of the Dorchester Reporter, it says what to look for in next Tuesday's preliminary vote. Voters and a handful of city council districts face a deadline in choosing their candidates. If they haven't already voted by mail or in person at an early voting location, polls close at 8 p.m. next Tuesday, September 12th, in the preliminaries for District 3, Dorchester in the South End, District 5, Hyde Park, Mattapan and Rosendale, District 6, Jamaica Plain and West Roxbury, and District 7, Roxbury and part of Dorchester and the South End. The mayor and the 4 at-large councilor slots won't be on September 12th ballot. The mayoralty, which comes with a 4-year term, isn't on the ballot until 2025. So that's when the mayor will be, I guess, up. And the at-large race doesn't have a preliminary. The 8 candidates running for at-large, 3 incumbents and 5 challengers, instead will be on the November 7th final ballot, as you just said, which will also feature the top 2 vote getters in the district races. Early in-person voting began last Saturday and lasts through this Friday, September 8th. On Thursday, Florian Hall will be available as an early voting location. Let me see, it's got more here. Goes on to say between noon and 8 p.m. and Will Street Nectario's Greek Orthodox Church in Rosendale. City Hall will be open from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. for the same purpose on Thursday and from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Friday. The deadline for vote by mail ballots was Tuesday, And this week, September 5th, among the competitive races, District 3 is the only open seat with 7 people running to replace Frank Baker, who first was elected in 2011 and decided against running for another 2-year term. And the other incumbents who have faced scandals over the last year are contending with challenges for their seats. Here's a look at the ballot in districts that touch Dorchester and Mattapan. District 3, which stretches from Neponset River to Dorchester Ave and into South End, has its first open seat in more than a decade. The 7 candidates include John Fitzgerald, an official with the Boston Planning and Development Agency, who lives in Adams Village; Jennifer Johnson, a Meeting House Hill activist; Matt Patton, a Savin Hill labor lawyer; Joel Richards, who lives in Fields Corner and teaches in the South End; Barry Lawton, a former school teacher who lives in Upham's Corner, Savin Hill area; Ann Walsh, a Lower Mills resident who recently led an education nonprofit; and housing activist Rosalind Warnham, who lives in Ashmont. Their answers to the reporter questionnaire are available, it says, on .news.com. District 5, Ricardo Arroyo, first elected in 2019, is aiming to survive the preliminary and get one of the slots after a spate of scandals, from $3,000 fines for serving as an attorney to his brother Felix in legal actions involving City Hall, to encouraging former U.S. Attorney Rachel Rollins to leak damaging information about DA Kevin Hayden, his opponent, and the 2022 Suffolk DA race. Arroyo's 3 opponents in the preliminary are former Boston police officer Jose Ruiz of Hyde Park, Rosendale's Enrique Pepin, a former aide to Mayor Wu, and former councilor Tito Jackson, and Mattapan's Claude
Johnson.
Yes.
Johnson. Did
That's
you say
supposed to be a guess? Huh?
Did you say Tito Jackson?
Listen, it says, okay, so Rosenbell Enrique Pepin's a former aide to Mayor Wu and former council Tito Jackson. So no.
Okay.
Yeah, me too. I was like, saying, whoa, I thought he was running. I was reading that too, but no, that's just he was connected to him.
Oh, okay.
So it goes on to say, District 7 has Dorchester's Tanya Fernandez Anderson, first elected in 2021, is running for re-election. She's facing 2 perennial candidates out there, Garrison and Roy Owens, as well as the Dorchester resident Jerome King and Tatum Scott, and anti-vaccine candidate Garrison, who frequently runs for public office, has previously served as state representative and city councilor, and mailers. Garrison noted that Anderson, who chairs the council's Ways and Means Committee, proposed to cut money from the veterans and police. Also, Garrison pointed to Anderson violating ethics rules by hiring relatives to work as council staffers. Anderson, who failed in attempting to override several mayoral vetoes, has previously said she regretted the proposed cut to veteran line item addressing the ethics violation, which came with a $5,000 fine. Anderson said on Twitter in July that she messed up and should have paid attention to those training videos. She added, "I corrected it as soon as I knew better, but I hurt my sister by not doing my research. I had to fire her while her husband waited for a heart transplant." Wow. So, yeah, a lot going on.
Yeah. The banner it talks about. It said that of her two in a Warriors District 5 race, Pepin has the backing of Mayor Michelle Wu, who has during her term in office embraced more moderate stands on police reform and opposed a fully elected school committee. Complicating the race for some of the progressives is a series of ethical lapses that have generated headlines over the summer. Laura is facing charges stemming from a car wreck in Jamaica Plain in which police allege she was driving without a license in a car with an expired registration. In June, Aurora was fined by the State Ethics Commission for representing one of his brothers in a lawsuit against the city during his first few months in office. Fernandez Anderson also was fined by the Ethics Commission after she hired her sister and son to serve on her staff. They're all ethics violations. In Dorchester-based District 3, where incumbent Baker is not seeking re-election, 7 candidates are competing. City worker John Fitzgerald, consultant and community activist Jennifer Johnson, former school teacher Barry Lawton, attorney Matt Patton, school teacher Joe Richards, former city council aide Ann Walsh, and housing activist Rosalind Warren. I wonder if this is the same Ann Walsh that used to work for John Conley. Fitzgerald, a deputy director of real estate operations at the Boston Planning and Development Agency, has secured backing from current and past Dorchester and South Boston elected officials, including former Mayor Marty Walsh, Baker, former District 3 Councilor Maura Feeney, and Flynn. Since May, Fitzgerald has raised $183,739 more than any other council candidate.
Wow.
Voters heading to the polls on September 12th will only be able to cast ballots in district races. Only in District 3, 5, 6, and 7 are there 3 or more candidates. The threshold triggering a preliminary in a district race. In the at-large race, there are 8 candidates, not enough to require preliminary balloting, as in the case with the district races. The at-large contest features an ideological split between progressive-leaning incumbents Julia Mejia and Ruthie Lujan and conservative-leaning incumbent Murphy. Among the 5 challengers vying for an at-large seat on the body, former city worker Henry Santana is tacking left and drawing support from progressive elected officials, and activist iron worker Bridget Nee Walsh has pledged to follow in the footsteps of fellow South Boston native Michael Flaherty, who is vacating his seat on the council this year. Other candidates in the at-large race include veterans Roxbury political activist Clifton Braywitt and anti-vaccine activist Sean Nelson and Catherine Vidal. So they don't even have my candidate's name in here because he's not on the ballot.
Really? Oh, he's a sticker. Wow.
And he didn't show up, so I don't understand that, but hey, it is what it is.
Right. You gave him the spot. Opportunity.
So if I knew he wasn't going to show up, I would have I would have stayed home.
Right?
You know? But it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah,
I need to get out. So.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I don't know what happened to him. I'm going to call him because, you know, it's his missed opportunity.
Right.
Not mine. I'm not running for nothing.
How about that?
I have businesses that I got to work and run. So I'm not, you know, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, Pastor, but you know, I think collaboration is definitely the way to go.
Absolutely.
You know, with the things that we're getting ready to do, with the people that we're working with, because I mean, sometimes when we're on these Zoom calls late at night, but we're making progress.
Amen.
You know, we're making progress, and you'll be able to see the progress that we're making in due time.
Absolutely.
You know? So I mean, God is just. You know how he says he's opened the windows of heaven and pour you out blessings you don't have room enough to receive. That's where I'm at right now.
Amen.
That's where I'm
Praise
at.
God.
And you know,
Praise
I just
God.
want to see my people better.
Sure.
You know, I do. It hurts me to go down to Nubian Square and see them people in them conditions, you know.
Yes.
And then they just building all around them, you know, just all the construction and stuff going on, you know. We ain't even on them, still ain't on the jobs, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I say there needs to be a monitoring committee for each district, because you have in each district there's 4 or 5 projects going on. I don't know no area of the city where there's not no building construction going on. And the majority of them are out of compliance. There's no way that they're going to hire enough monitors to do that, because monitors make anywhere between $65,000 to $75,000 a year, maybe even more.
Wow.
And the thing about it, you're not going to hire that many, but hire some community people and stipend them. You know, I mean, there's simple solutions to some of this stuff, you know. But they, I don't know.
No, we just got to keep on them. I mean, I know, Governor Healy's administration is also dealing with this migrant situation.
Yeah,
putting a lot of resources into addressing that.
Right. That's we actually were talking about this on the prayer line this morning. We got a little over. But we were talking about, how, I had mentioned about like how a lot of the immigrants come here and they get the services that we can't get, right?
That's true.
And then there's also the fact that they come, but they come, to help and to build from what they had. But I said, but they also come, they tell them, don't deal with black Americans. They're lazy. They don't want to do this. Yet we built this country. And so how could you say that? And a lot of black people do have to work 2 and 3 jobs, to be successful.
Yep.
And so, the fact that they think we're only worth $8, well, we're going to show them better. We can tell them that we are worth more than any $8.
That's right.
And so we just have to come together. Like I said, the like-minded folks. I've always said that, you know. If you're working on jobs, then you all need to work together. If you're working on housing, work together. Education. Just like you said, you all put the coalition together around the return of citizens, We did the coalition with the Black Boston Coalition. There's they got the hospitality coalition. This way, this helps.
Yes.
This helps the organizations. That way, if they all pitch in together, right, they can all hire someone to do their work for them, or they could, because if you're in collaboration, that means that you don't have to do everything by yourself.
That's right.
And that's what it is. We wind up doing so much, and we work in silos.
It's true.
We're doing it by ourselves, and we're exhausted and killing ourselves.
It's true. And Boston is really, quite candidly, too small. I mean, for us to be, working in silos and tripping over each other. I mean, really, but we need to know other organizations, what they're doing, so we can make appropriate referrals, know how to fill the gaps in services, to advocate to fill gaps in services, what doesn't exist, and again, hold folks accountable for outcomes and impact, that we're being efficient with our resources. Right now is a really strong fiscal time for the state of Massachusetts.
Yeah. And
so how do we leverage those resources, not to squander them and put them in a rainy day fund and do something that's
right, because we need them, because our young folks are coming, they're getting out of schools. Some of them don't want to go to college, some of them want to do a trade. A lot of our young kids, I feel like they want to do music and be of that other foolishness, but I mean, some have good skills too, and they're making their living and stuff, and so it's just a matter of directing them in the right direction, giving them the mentorship and the leadership that they need and that they deserve, and so it's not easy, but someone got to do it. If we don't do it, no one's gonna do it, and we have to do it for ourselves, for our communities, for our people. And eventually, hopefully, I mean, I have a couple of like radical ideas. I mean, it make not only the city, the state, this whole country stand up. But folks, some people they scared. I'm like, if you're scared, just go home. Because we gotta have some backbone. Black people ain't scared, know. But it's just the way that the system has guided us and made us feel about ourselves, made us feel about each other, pit us against each other, making them think that their ice is colder. Their ice ain't no colder than our ice, and we got just as many skill sets, if not more, than theirs,
That's right.
Like I want to give a plug into Maven Construction, who is JC Burton. She has a wonderful program that she's doing, helping contractors and construction workers build their capacity. It's called The Surge. And so I'm promoting it because I think it's a great program. And so she's been in construction for 27 years, so she knows the work.
Nice.
She came up from Atlanta. I can't remember. I don't know how long she's been here, but she's been here some years. And so a lot of her projects have been like all around the world. She worked on the Hope 6 thing. And I remember Leon worked on Hope 6 too. Next time I talked to him, I asked him, does she know Leon? Because he worked on the Hope 6 projects too. So she's done, design, a lot of different designs, and it's a blessing to to have a black woman, like her running construction companies. But she's not the only. Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
No worries.
Oh Lord.
No worries.
I don't know what happened to you, but you missed your interview. That's not a good look. You just missed an hour interview. You missed the interview where you had the opportunity to talk to the community about why you're running, and now you didn't even show up. My show is over in 10 minutes. My show is over in 10 minutes. It's 9 to 10. So maybe I'll try to get you back in another Thursday. My show's only on Thursdays, yes. But there are other shows here. Has he been on your show, Pastor?
No.
Yeah, I can give you Pastor Hobbs' number. You can call him, see if you can come on his show. And I'll have you on another Thursday, but it won't be like next Thursday. Try to get you in another Thursday, but no, his shows are from Tuesday to Friday from 4 to 6. You got guests tomorrow, Pastor?
What's tomorrow?
Tomorrow's Friday.
I am not sure off the top of my head. I don't believe so.
He doesn't believe so. What I would do, I will text you his number. You call him, and you make arrangements. All right? No, I won't. All right. All right. Well, you have a blessed day. Yep. As soon as I get out the show, I'm still on my show. Okay. Okay. Bye bye.
They missed it. Misunderstood.
Yeah. He said he woke up at 9:30.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
I mean, this is like.
Yeah. You gave them opportunity.
You run for office.
Right.
At large. Sticker campaigns.
And can't get it together, your schedule. Not a good look.
Wow.
But
hey, yeah, hopefully, I'm going to
bless
text him. I'll text him your number, maybe you can get in, I have 3 minutes?
Yes, ma'am.
Really? I've been talking all that time?
All good.
Yeah, but so I want to I mentioned again, people, October the 11th, from 6 to 8 at the Work, WORC. It's right on, I don't want to give you all the wrong address, but it's right on the corner of Williams and Washington Street, in Roxbury, right across from the cemetery down there. Right, the old Tropical Food Building. That's where we're at. So you'll be getting more information. We're putting our flyers together, so you'll know. But come out, please, people, please. Tuesday is election day. Go out and vote. If you don't, for those who have district races. So if you live in District 3, if you live in District 5, if you live in District 6, or if you live in District 7, you have to go out and make your voice count. And I am out of time. This has been Priscilla Flint with People Power with Priscilla. We are the people. We have the power. Check out my website at www.maheii.org. That's www.maheii.org. Thank you and have a blessed day. Bye-bye.
Yes.
We out.
Okay.
I'm in Black Force because a couple of my cousins had got hired with Feeney. Now the thing about it is
Your
you know what?
cousins.
Yeah, my cousins. Yeah, listen, I ain't gonna lie, my cousins. You know,
Hey, listen.
listen,
That's all.
But see,
listen. You know, but see, the thing about it is,
Who's that
let me tell you
talking?
something. No. You know,
Oh, yeah, my bad. So, brother, he said about quickly that what we're just saying, is there a responsibility for us to look at who's our viable candidates, for office as people are running? Is there a responsibility on us to look at are these really viable candidates, or just because they're running that we give them a platform? Was the question that's posed.
Well, I think it's fair to give them a platform, especially if they're new and it's their first time running. Why not? I mean, either people are going to listen to them or people are not going to listen to them.
That's true. That's
so,
true.
I mean, I think everybody deserves a chance.
There you go.
But he blew his.
Today.
Real, I mean, I'm going to text him we're out, right?
Yes.
I'm going to text him your number.